Hi everyone, it's me Jo. Really excited to welcome you to University Centre Sparsholt. I realise it's been a bit of a strange start to the term, but just to reassure you, we obviously are starting in November, but we have everything set up and ready to go. So please don't feel like it's a late start. It's at the time when we absolutely intended for you to start, so therefore the timetable and the teaching will reflect that. So we are just really excited to have you start with us, and as I say, please don't feel like you're on the back foot. You are starting at precisely the time you needed to. So what I thought we'd do this afternoon is just to go through a little bit of kind of induction stuff really. The idea for this week's study programme is for us to do some academic skills and just to do some induction bits, and then from next week we will do more of the specific subjects and a bit more kind of vet nurse specific bits and bobs. But as I say, for this week we're very much just going to focus on the initial academic skills that you need, and hopefully start to give you a little bit more information about what to expect from us. So again, I don't really know how what kind of drew you to veterinary nursing. Obviously I had some really nice personal statements, and during the process it was really nice to see just how many of you are really passionate about nursing, but it might be that actually for you the reality was that you wanted to work with animals. Maybe it's a lifelong ambition. Maybe there's a specific species that you are keen to work with. I know for myself, I just wanted to work with animals from a very young age. So this was kind of my dream. In terms of how we deliver that at Sparsholt, which I realise we've talked a little bit about already, is that the timetable is very much set up to have a variety of different subjects. So we will of course spend time doing animal handling, but you will have, as you'll see from the timetable, which we're going to go through in a few days, you will see that we've got lots of practical settings, but it might be nurse skills, it might be laboratory based. We've obviously got time in lecture theatres, so really it should be a blend. So as I say, we're going to come on to the type of modules in a minute. So the next thing I just wanted to do was just to remind you of our veterinary nursing teaching team here at University Centre Sparsholt. So that's me in the middle, Jo Bond, and I am the first year tutor. So I'm your first port of call with any inquiries about academic support, timetabling, as you have been. If you've got any questions, please do email me. I'm also the course tutor. So again, if there's any course related concerns, feel free to come and chat with me. What we do through the years of your degree is we swap tutors. So Sarah will be your second year tutor. You will also get to know her this year because she's going to teach you a number of subjects. Sarah is a small animal veterinary surgeon, so she brings a very different industry experience to other people. So again, really lovely lady, and you'll spend quite a lot of time with her this year. In third year you have Jess Watson, who is also a veterinary surgeon, but Jess has come from an equine background, so again brings a very different approach, a whole range of different subjects, and you'll have Jess this year for animal husbandry, inheritance and disease. So then in terms of other people and other tutors, so you will see a lot of Emma Anscombe-Skirrow. Emma Anscombe-Skirrow is our head of centre, and that basically means that she is the person who oversees the vet nurse degree and the vet nurse apprenticeship programme here at University Centre Sparsholt. She also works really closely with the RCVS. So when we do our student enrolments, for example, it will be Emma that will be checking through and signing off your documentation. The remaining lecturers are, so Denise, you'll have her for Principles of Veterinary Nursing. So Denise is also a veterinary nurse. Bev, who obviously you've met before, hopefully you saw her on the pre-study course with her lovely boxer. Unfortunately, he won't be attending class, but you might see him pop up from time to time. And then Catherine, who is an equine veterinary nurse, who's also part of our team, and you will have her for a number of different subjects later on. So that's us. So nice number of faces, hopefully all quite friendly faces. We do have an open door policy here at Sparsholt, so if there are any questions, any concerns, any worries, please don't hesitate to contact us. And as it says at the bottom, please do remember your tutor. we'd much rather you come and talk to us, even if you think a question is silly, than to suffer in silence. So please do make full use of us. So other people just to make you aware of, the first person is Leanne Crow, who is our HE internal quality assurer, and Leanne works in really close proximity with all of our training practices. So as you know, you have a year placement in your second to third year of the degree, and it'll be Leanne that supports you through that. So she liaises with the practices, she helps you in being placed in a practice, so you don't need to worry about that at all. It's not a case of you having to find the practice. We place you in practices. So she's really, really important. She'll help you go through the MPL, so your training record. A lot of information for another day, but as I say, you will meet Leanne fairly soon. In terms of wellbeing, we do have a wellbeing team here on campus, which again, they are so valuable in what they do and their support. So if you have any ongoing wellbeing concerns or you want to talk to somebody, then Kimmy Lewis is a really good starting point. And again, just let me know. We can obviously share her email address with you. So please don't if you do need support, please do come and see us. And as you can see, wellbeing are involved in counselling, finances, transportation, first aid, and there's a whole remit of different things that they do. So please do get in contact. In terms of learning support, we have another team that are separate. So again, we will introduce them to you shortly. But again, if you have any specific learning support needs, maybe previously you had extra time in exam, maybe you had extra help with reading and writing, maybe you know that you have dyslexia, for example, or dyspraxia, please again do get in contact with us. There is support in place, but again, we unfortunately can't do anything unless you tell us. And also, if you were here as a student before, so if you were here with Sparshot as a level 3 student, again, you need to let us know what was in place for you there, because it doesn't automatically cross-reference. Juliet Sheridan is one of our librarians. She's really, really helpful for things like referencing, getting around the library, those kind of things. So again, just someone to flag up to you. So obviously you're not with us currently, so this isn't really relevant, but when you enrol, we will give you a lanyard and a student ID card. So just from the start, we are a combined campus, so we have further education and higher education, so it's really, really important that you wear your lanyards at all times. For University Centre Sparshot, we are in purple, so it just allows us to differentiate our students really, really easily. But just to start from the very get-go, so you will be expected to wear your lanyards. If you're anything like me and a little bit, feather-brained, let's say, in the mornings, then I personally just put it on as I'm getting dressed, and it doesn't come off my neck until I go home, and I have it in a particular place at home. So just get in the habit. Obviously, when you're with us, we'll go through that again. Okay, so let's look at the course then, just as a little reminder. Now, hopefully you are semi-familiar with the course, because obviously you've applied for the course, you've had a place accepted. So hopefully this is all a bit of a revision. But it's always helpful just to, from the very beginning, make sure that we're all clear on the expectations of when you're in and when you're not in. So the first year then is 120 credits at level 4. Now, to put that into a little bit of perspective, a bit more understanding, A-levels and extended diplomas, which I know obviously you've all done, are level 3s, GCSEs are level 2. So the first year of the degree is a step up. And again, that's not to make you feel nervous or inadequate or anything like that, but it's always quite helpful to have that. I know when I first started university, it did feel quite overwhelming. Obviously, it was all very different, lots of changes, maybe you moving from home, and actually the fact that the first few weeks of being at university felt overwhelming, and some of the subjects felt overwhelming, it was quite helpful to remember that actually you're working at a whole nother level. So we will spend a lot of time going through subjects, going through assignment briefs. Hopefully you'll be more than prepared, but it's just worth remembering. So in terms of the expectations, so you're with us for a whole year, and as we've already discussed many times before, the course itself is a mixture of theory and practical lessons, and then for each module you have a written assessment and an exam. Those exams will be in the summer, so they're not for a long time, but again, it's just worth being mindful of what's coming up. You also have a 3-week work placement as part of your industrial experience unit, which again we will discuss at another time, but it's just worth kind of, as I say, thinking about where you want to be, what you might want to do in that respect. So second year then is 60 credits at level 5, so it jumps up again, and the second year is a little bit different in that, as we've already discussed, it kind of is a bit of a sandwich year. So you have theory lessons from September to December, and then you have examinations for those modules in January. So what that means is, come January, you have done all of your written examinations for the whole of your degree, which for those of you that don't particularly like exams, hopefully that's quite encouraging. But it also means that you can go out on placement for your year and be able to work really focused on your training record, and not have to worry about any exams. So as we've said, the placement itself is 52 weeks, and again, when you formally enroll with us, we will start talking about placements nice and early. We will find the placements for you, so you don't have to worry about stressing that it's very competitive and everything else, because we will help you fully in that process, and we will find those placements for you. So then you come off a placement and go straight into the third year, and the third year is another 60 credits at level 5. And you're with us then from February until the end of June. So the only thing really that is, again, you have modules obviously and assignments, but you don't have exams for the assignments. But the other thing just to mention is that you then have your OSCEs after Easter. So your OSCEs, again, it feels quite mean talking about them now, but these are your final practical examinations. Nothing to worry about right now. We will prepare you more than enough before the time comes. But again, it's just so that you know what's coming up. Okay, so the next thing, just to kind of put on your radar, is your RCVS enrolment. So we will start collecting documents for this at the start of November, but in order to train as a veterinary nurse in the UK, you have to be enrolled with the Royal College of Vet Surgeons. So they are our governing body, and they are the ones that regulate and monitor quality within their profession. So in preparation for that, one thing that you can start collecting and putting together is, first of all, your GCSE certificates. So the RCVS require you to have maths, English and science at grade C or grade 4 or above, plus 2 other GCSEs at grade C or grade 4 or above. Now, for some of you, we've already had conversations about GCSEs that are missing. So if you have spoken to me, or if you are an international student, or if you have an equivalent, please do not start panicking. That's absolutely fine. But if you are worried that you don't have certificates, now is the time to approach your GCSE providers, the examination centres, and make sure that you have those certificates. Now would also be the time to maybe raid your parents' house, for example, to try and find those certificates so that you have them to hand. We also need you to have some ID. Generally, a passport or a driving licence is the most suitable. That can be a provisional driving licence, obviously, if you don't drive. We also need 2 passport photos. So again, this might be something that you want to do prior to the start of term. And then I will send out in the next few weeks the registration forms. So you don't obviously have those at the moment, but they will be coming out so that you can, again, start to fill them in before. Now, another thing just to think about is volunteering opportunities here at Sparsholt. So obviously, as we've said, the course provides you with quite a significant chunk of practical experience. But because you are doing a science degree, it's always done at a complement to your theoretical classes. Now, for some of you, you might find that actually you want to develop a little bit more of your animal handling skills, or maybe you are living on campus and you think, actually, I would love to have more chance to spend time with animals. It could just be that you have lots of animals at home and actually you're kind of missing those pets. So one way that you can develop all 3 of those areas is through volunteering at the AMC. So the AMC is our animal management centre. We obviously have lots and lots of different animals. It's one of our big selling points. But every year they have student technicians. So if this is something that you would like to do, then please give Catherine Potter, who's the head of the companion animal part of the animal centre, an email, and she can arrange some more information for you. It's really, really valuable, really good opportunity. So again, hate to talk about exams just now, but just a date for your diary. We do, obviously, as we said, we have exams in all of your units. all of your modules. So exams this year will start on Monday the 17th of May. I will be sharing with you more confirmed dates closer to the time, but again, just make sure that you are aware of this. Exams generally run for 4 weeks with half term in the middle, so just make sure if you are planning on taking any holiday or you're planning on not being here, I would strongly advise you to avoid that time period because you do need to sit those exams. Under the RCVS, we are required that every single part of the degree is passed. So that means every assignment, every exam. It's a little bit different from other courses where you might be able to do, fail one and pass one. But for the RCVS, it's very specific. So you must attend those exams. So just pop it in your diary for now. Also with your assignments, again, we're not yet at the point where we're talking about assignments, but just again to give you a starting point, all of our assignments are submitted online, but at Sparshot we submit ours at 1 minute to midnight on the submission day. So again, it's just worth mentioning at this stage. Now the way that it works is obviously we have assignments and you'll be given assignment briefs. So what we do is we use categorical marking so that you can basically, we don't kind of mark by point, we mark by the quality and the category of the work that we've received. So that you get a whole from 0 to 100%. Any work that is late is automatically given a 40% maximum grade. And anything that is is over 10 days late is given a 0. So we don't work on a resubmission policy. So if you have been used to being able to resubmit, if you failed and get a better grade, we don't work on that. But we do have extenuating circumstances policies, which we'll go through at another time. So it does mean if you are unwell, if something happens that's drastic in your family, if there are unforeseen circumstances, then we can obviously consider those. But overall, my kind of go home message is just make sure you plan your time wisely. We will be sharing your assignment schedule with you. We're fully transparent in that, so just make sure that you keep to a plan. So another thing you might want to do before you come with us is to go and buy a diary or a notebook that you're going to write everything down into. Okay, so marking wise, as I said, everything is categorically marked. So just to give you some idea of what that means. So again, if you are aiming for distinctions, then you need to get over 70%. In terms of our marking process, all our work is blind marked. So we don't know whose work it is, because we feel that that's important for fairness. Then a sample is IV'd by another tutor, and then these are all scanned and filed correctly. In terms of our timings, we work to a 20 working day policy. So from the date you submit it to the day you receive it, it's 20 working days. And that's in line with the University of Portsmouth and the University Centre Sparshot. And as we said before, the RCVS require every artefact to be passed. Okay. The other thing just to mention is we do have a green policy here on campus. So all of our resources will predominantly all of them will be online. So again, just make sure that you have access to online resources. If for whatever reason you require handouts for learning purposes, so if you have, for example, dyslexia and you have a DSA that states that, obviously that's different. But overall, it's really important that you get to know the online electronic resources. We will go through those together, so don't worry that you're not sure where things are. I know a few people have had some IT issues. We will make sure all of those are fixed, but just be mindful that they are there for you. Okay, and then the last thing just to chat through is the course reps. So at University Centre Sparshot, we have a student council, which is known as the Student Association, and it consists of a member from each tutor group at each year that you come and you chat with our head of faculty, the Dean of Higher Education, and it's designed as a way of giving feedback on academic provisions specifically. So you attend the student council meetings, you can obviously you share any feedback from the cohort, and it's an opportunity for us to act on feedback that we get from students and have a response. So again, it's just something to think about. I will come back to you once we're all formally enrolled, but if this is something you've done before or something that you would like to do, please do drop me an email and we can look to do that. Okay, so that's us. As I say, it's a very brief introduction. I will be posting some few more bits online for you today. But in the meantime, if you have got any questions, feel free to add them to the comments. Looking forward to seeing you on Wednesday for a bit more teaching. But as I say, I will keep popping bits up. In the meantime, if you have any questions, please do contact me. So just to remind you, my email is jo.bond, so J-O, no E on it, jo.bond@sparshop.ac.uk. Okay, I'll see you soon. Take care.